An unusually defensive Jignesh Shah, unable to give specifics on many of the questions that were posed to him on Monday on the mess that currently surrounds the operations of the National Spot Exchange. This is the big story. I'm Vivek Law. The NSCL is a spot exchange that offered forward contracts on the basis of a 2007 notification from the Consumer Affairs Ministry. But that notification had a number of conditions that NSCL seems to have run afoul of. Jayashree joins us and tells us what exactly that circular said.
Well, indeed, we are in possession of the government's gazette. This government circular clearly stated that all the forward contracts of one-day duration being traded on the National Spot Exchange were exempted from the Forward Contracts Act of 1952 if they met the following conditions. Firstly, the members of the exchange should not indulge in any short sale, that is, the seller would not repurchase the commodity at a lower price on a later date. Secondly, all the outstanding positions of the trade in the day should result in delivery. The spot trading by the National Spot Exchange should be under the regulation of the authorities of the area where the trading is taking place. Effectively, it means that it comes under the regulation of the respective state governments. That is the reason why Maharashtra government and Rajasthan government sent notices to NSCL in early 2013. Rajasthan government sent the notice on taxation, giving them a tax liability, as according to the government, NSCL was working as a commission agent. And Maharashtra government asked them to stop the operations as the state government alleged that they were working as an NBFC. The third clause states that all the information related to the trade has to be provided to the government or the designated agency when asked for it. The final clause was that in case of exigencies, all the exemptions will be withdrawn without stating the reason. Back to you.
All right, so the big questions that we are posing here on this show today on The Big Story are the following. How was a spot exchange allowed to run forward contracts? As we just told you, the 2007 circular said clearly no short sales. It's a spot exchange and therefore it cannot have forward contracts. However, as we've now discovered, there were forward contracts going up to 35 days and more, which were being transacted on the exchange. The next question is, how was NSCL given a regulatory exemption in 2007? The fact of the matter is that even as of today, the government itself seems unclear as to who regulates NSCL. While it has asked FMC to step in, but there was no jurisdiction within which NSCL fell. And yet, thousands of crores of transactions continued to happen on that exchange. The next question, has the government FMC verified NSCL's warehouse stockpiles? Because that's the big allegation going around, that perhaps there is no stock available in connection with the equal amount of positions that were taken. If that were the case, they could have just been settled. Why this crisis? Are there enough material in those warehouses? Has the government even tried to verify? Has the FMC tried to verify? There have been some reports where reporters have gone to locations and found that this may not necessarily be correct. But is there any evidence from the government? Is there a report from the government? Is the government even looking at this particular aspect? And finally, did leading brokers know and act in advance? Highly placed sources have told me that there were several leading equity brokers. Now, both the BSE and NSE, when this crisis hit, called many of them, spoke to them to find out if they had open positions there, because that could pose a risk to the equity market. And many of them, it seems, told the exchanges that in the last 3 or 4 weeks, they had unwound their positions and passed it on to clients. That's another big issue which perhaps needs more greater detailed probe. Joining me now to talk about this is noted investor and consumer activist and former Member of Parliament, Kirit Somaiya, who's also a BJP leader. Kirit, first question to you. How did this crisis come about in the first place?
The first thing is that the government actually allowed so-called NSCL to get the money in the name of spot exchange and use it for their other exchanges. We don't know where the money has been used, but the money has been diverted. On one side, you are exempting NSCL from regulated network. Why? Simultaneously, you say, now nobody will regulate. Thirdly, for last 3 years, everybody knows, including yourself. Yourself means the ministry. 1 year back, the ministry had the report that here no spot transactions are being held up. It is instead of T+1 and T+2, it is stated that T+34, but the same rollover is allowed. The capital market brokers are just using NSCL to earn 16 and 18% badla interest. So that means the money is diverted and used by the promoter of the exchange, the owner of the exchange, by forming.
Kirit, you were a part of the JPC that had looked into the Ketan Parekh scam. Explain this to me. This sounds a lot like what had happened at the Calcutta Stock Exchange.
I would like to compare it with a better example of Harshad Mehta scam. Because in 1992-93, you are aware there was no regulatory system, no transparency, no cross-check, double-check about the bank receipt. And what Harshad Mehta abused the system. The forged bank receipts were created. The forged liquidity was created. And Harshad used those money in the capital market. Here also it seems the similar thing. Forged system, forged warehouses stock, forged warehouses receipt, and forged evidences that this is a spot exchange and the money was diverted, used somewhere, we don't know where. Of course, one can compare it with the Calcutta Stock Exchange also, but the better comparison is with the bank receipt fraud.
Kirit, you're making a very serious allegation. What are you basing these allegations on as regards the warehouse receipts?
In last 4 days, I have interaction with the market expert from both the market, commodity exchange and capital market. I also had informal discussion with NSCL officials. Also, a detailed meeting with FMC people and consumer ministry officials. And from there I got to know that the system has visited some of the godown and they found that the bogus stock was shown. Simultaneously, you know that the NSCL is just talking about the payment and settlement. They are not talking about the goods receipt, the securities, not at all. Today also they came out with a settlement cycle that 5% will be paid, and if the payment is delayed, 16% interest will be paid. But if it is a spot exchange, where is the question of deferment of payment? There has to be some stock, and against stock, the money. So all these things says that it is just spot exchange has been abused to run a parallel Vaida Bazar, Badla Bazar. You can say that this is a Badla system which was used in Bombay Stock Exchange, but that also actually abused. It is just used to siphon off the money and use it somewhere else.
Kirit, you used to be called once upon a time the PIL man. Why are you not filing a PIL now? What are you waiting for?
There's nothing can stop me. We are concerned about the small investors and small farmers' money. We are urging, as I told you, I have interacted with all concerned department officials. I will have a second round in next couple of days. And we will ask them whether you are paying and taking care of the small farmers and small investors. And if we found that they are not, their intention is not healthy, certainly we will go up to Supreme Court and see that all those people, all those scamsters will be behind the bar, like Ketan Parekh and Harshad Mehta, and small investors and innocent farmers are protected.
No, but Kirit, I was talking about you filing a PIL against the government. The government allowed this entity to exist and it was unregulated. What further evidence do you need? That's clear facts.
I'm distributing or dividing our job in two parts. First, the payment for the farmers and investors, let them declare and come out with the package for them. And then on the second part, the action on those fraudulent people. As I told you that last 4 days I have visited all this, and for your knowledge, I have already filed a complaint with the CVC. I met the Vigilance Commissioner and I gave complaint in detail along with the document. How and why the government is exempted. And after exempting no regulatory system, the government now says me that already 5 conditions were laid. If the 5 conditions were laid and if those conditions were violated, why the ministry and FFC did not act till today? So now I am going step by step. You know, Vivek, to approach the court first ask us whether you approach the regulator, whether you have exhausted all the judiciary system before approaching court. So my first round will be SEBI, then FMC, the second round of course, SEBI, FMC, Consumer Affairs Ministry, then CVC, then PMO, and on the third round, if we don't get justice, the court.
Kirit, you're also a senior BJP leader. Why is your party silent on this entire issue? While you have come out in the capacity, I presume, as an activist, why is this not an issue in Parliament if it affects so many farmers, as you say, and small investors?
I am talking and interacting with you as a senior BJP leader and also a firm, dedicated activist, investors activist. As I stated that the Sharad Pawar, Mr. Chidambaram and Sonia Gandhi consistently talking about farmers' interest. They have given the birth to so-called spot exchange, and they have said that we have given an exemption for the benefit of small farmers. So first our point that the BJP is going to ask the question to the government whether you are interested in protecting the lakhs of small farmers and small investors, or you are bothered about the promoters of these private stock exchanges and around a dozen broking houses. BJP is certainly going to raise this issue in Parliament and also on all the available platforms. We want transparency and healthy commodity and capital market.
But Kirit, have you spoken with your colleagues in Parliament? When do they intend to raise the issue?
Certainly, for your information, just last Friday we had a meeting of BJP charge sheet committee. You know that BJP has formed various committees under the leadership of Narendra Modi. Last Friday we had at Delhi the meeting of charge sheet committee, and in that committee also we have discussed this issue. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, who is the deputy leader of Rajya Sabha, and Mr. Gopinath Munde, the deputy leader of Lok Sabha, both were present. I have to submit a detailed note along with the annexure to the Parliament leaders, and they are going to take up for the interest of farmers and small investors.
All right, Kirit Somaiya, thank you very much for joining us and sharing your thoughts. We'll come back to you as the story unfolds. Also joining me now is Alok Churiwala, the Vice Chairman of the BSE Brokers Forum. Thanks very much for talking to us, Alok. My first question to you is, you have seen the markets for many years. This kind of a crisis, does it take you back to the Kolkata Stock Exchange days or even earlier?
I would not like to draw any comparisons with Calcutta Stock Exchange because that was patently illegal what was happening over there. But having said that, what we are seeing right now is an unprecedented crisis in recent times, and also in similar measure we've seen unprecedented action, unprecedented positive action on part of the regulatory regime and the government and powers that be.
Alok, how do you say that this is not patently legal if a spot exchange was carrying out forward contracts as alleged beyond its mandate, and a government that doesn't even know who regulates it?
Right. So what was patently illegal was, I was talking about some of the off-market trades done on Calcutta. That is what I was referring to. Here, of course, is an exchange where, which is a regular exchange, and as they say, it has been found out that there seems to be a regulatory vacuum, that there seems to be no one regulator who was regulating this entity.
Alok, my basic understanding is that when you are a spot exchange, you don't have 35-day forward contracts.
So there is where, part of the story began, and that's where the issues actually started. But you see, what I think the issue really is, Vivek, right now is the fact that transactions were happening for over the last couple of years, willy-nilly. Now, rather than getting into whether these transactions ought to have been allowed and how they were allowed and how they went on, I think transactions did take place, and they went on to a tune of over 7,000 crores at one point in time. So the primary concern of everyone right now is to make sure that the money is not lost. The brokers, investors particularly, do not lose any money out of these trades. Also, the larger issue that India's image in international markets could take a beating. What with sentiment at an all-time low right now.
Did I just hear you agreeing that these transactions that went on for 2 years were patently illegal?
Now, the jury is still out there, Vivek. We don't know whether, I can make a statement that whether these transactions were legal or illegal. But, when we look at an exchange which comes out with a product and, the kind of environment that we generally live in is a highly regulated environment. So one normally takes it for granted that these have a legal sanction, and when an exchange is offering a product, there's very little room to question whether the legality of that product.
Let me refer to a press release that the forum issued. An important point that was made was that you cautioned FMC that the audit and verification of the stocks and that of the borrowers is necessary. Tell us, why did you say that?
See, I will answer this question in two parts. Yes, we have cautioned, and see, there are rumors flying thick and fast about whether the stock is there, what kind of quality of stock is there, whether it's going to be siphoned off, and all sorts of misgivings are there in the minds of the public. Now, to allay those fears, I think concrete steps need to be taken by an authority that will say that here are the stocks, this is what the value of those stocks is, and that will perhaps put the mind at rest. But that said, right now I think what the kind of solutions that are being offered are in terms of a financial solution wherein all the parties, all the borrowers have agreed to pay the money, and for which they are seeking time, because selling of the stocks would have, I am told, their own problems in terms of the kind of price that they will fetch, and also, yes, we come back to the same question, whether those stocks are really there and to what extent they are there.
My final question to you, Alok, stockbrokers are among the smartest people. It just beats me how an entire community, hundreds of them, could be transacting on an exchange without knowing that it was unregulated.
Well, you see, this is a question that has been beating us as well. We are doing some serious introspection into how it happened, why it happened, and possibly also there was at some level, I think, a demonstration effect. Seeing, I guess, the other brokers do a lot many more, got sucked into this quagmire, thinking each one of the other person has done their homework. And perhaps that is, and no one really in today's day and age of regulation, the kind of regulation that we are subject to in capital markets, would think that an exchange would be unregulated.
All right, Alok Churiwala, thank you.
And an exchange that is unregulated would be allowed to function for as long.
Okay, Alok Churiwala, thank you very much for joining us. Well, we would have liked to pose these questions to Jignesh.